I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first.
Hey everybody, welcome back to CT Review. Today is April 8th, Tuesday, 2025. Hope you had a good day today. So, gotta watch yesterday's video. Yeah, I'm sorry it was long, but you can see here the fire pushing up. We're just talking about an example of when we close, we're just gonna start buying up, get into that imbalance right there, previous day's high, which that would be the current day's high of yesterday, and then sell back off. So they did it dirty. They came all the way up, equal highs with the previous day. Didn't take it out on purpose, and rug pulled everybody for Nasdaq. S&P and Dow did come up in their imbalance right there and sell off. So beautiful. Can't get any more clear than that. How does that look like here? Well, remember, as you see that high of yesterday. Look at this. Look how silly that is. Comes right to it. So in this case, this is a special case. This is not very common. You had this situation very similar to, like, for example, like right here, like when we had this. We had these equal highs right here. You see that? So, and they squeezed down, didn't take it out. I made the same video when talking about coming down first, then popping up, and then retracing to be like kind of like a lower high and then roll over for a raid. But this is dirty. They did it dirty for Nas. But again, coming up here, wiping out liquidity to the left. I sold from here yesterday, right? So it was, and to be honest with you, it wasn't that hard, right? I mean, it was hard, but it wasn't that hard because I had understanding of a key area here. But squeezed out. What do they do? Well, it's a reversal day. Look at so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Generally, Monday, Tuesday, your highest probability of the high or the low of the week is Monday or Tuesday. In this case, this is Tuesday, and we're looking for a bearish week. Well, we're retracing. We already got this big move of a. So this is the. If you look at the structure here, you had the lower low popping up for the lower high. Then you had the lower low. Then you popped up for Trump's lower high. Then you lower low sank down, came up for a lower high. Now, again, that's why I said I wanted it to come up here in general speaking, tap that imbalance, and I would have liked to hit that breakout level there, plus retest that low on Wednesday on August 5th is weekly candle low, right? So that would have made perfect sense just to dump in there, and it did not. So super dirty, but it's going to either sell from above it or it's going to sell from below it. And in this case, they were dirty and sold it from right underneath it. So anyways, remember I measured this yesterday. This here is attached to that wick. So it can be done a couple ways here, but you're not going to see it in any other time frame. So because it's a stupid wick. So I just got dragged over a little bit. But remember I said yesterday, again, watch the long video, that the 1 and 1.5 is right here. See this in the gray? Let me move it over this way. Is probably would help more. I'm just going to move it over, okay? So you see that right there? So 1 and 1.5, we sold yesterday, came into it, and we missed the 2. Remember, that low that it took out of those equal lows, that was, so move down 1 was the fake move. I caught that, and then bought up, missed it, move 2, retrace back, move 3, and then this ended up being 4. I said in the video that I would like to just see it keep buying up, and that's what it did. So now that I've said that, I can frame the rest of this day here. So I got to make videos quicker. I don't want to make 50-something minute videos. And sometimes it takes that long. We're conversating about real high level fucking trading. So, you can't expect 10 minutes, right? But anyways, so here's the deal. You could see the open here. We have a gap there, but it also did not seal price. Let's go to it real quick. You could see here. See that? See that right there? So it gapped up and then it came down, took out the breakout level right there, but did not seal it. So half of this gap is not sealed. It's literally a void of no price action. So algorithm is going to be attracted to that. So what's the story today? The story is where they're making equal lows, right? They're squeezing it out like it's a fake support. It's a sell model. So this is in a consolidation, then you push up and then you get accumulation 1, and then you get accumulation 2, and then you get the push up. Again, we would have loved to have rated that, but we didn't. Let's look at this on the 1 minute real quick. Again, consolidation. You got that midnight level. You got an imbalance on the. This was also drawn on the 1 hour, but you can refine it to a 15-minute. It's just this pocket of price. What is this right here? Can't you see that that's a high and we bust right through? I talk about this every day. So we bust through it, right? And then I know there's a lot of candles here. I'm sorry, but it's kind of hard to do this, but you see that when they bust and they retrace, that's the lowest low of the rest of the AM. So that's again on purpose. Last down candles holding as support. See how we're digging it here. We have the imbalance here. And then really this is 3 drives. Drive 1, drive 2, sloppy, shakeout. Drive 3. Again, shady right there, right? But the logic is still in place. The understanding of it buying up to wipe out sellers here, to then that's a lower high to come down for a lower low. Very basic understanding, right? And we're using I'll get into that in a second. But so this is logical, right? We got the opening range gap here. Okay, so look what they do here at 9:30. I already knew this was going to be a bullshit start as soon as they started doing this. Right here, and then 9:30 pushes it up again, sweeps that, then sweeps down, then sweeps up. You see that shakeout, right? You see that speaker, right? Right there, you know the order flow. Not only do you need more patience, but you also shouldn't even play around, because I'm not interested in buying fucking up here, right? So logically you would like to see it reverse back and get these guys right here balance, then buy up, right? That would be the best case scenario. But because we are already, as you see, kind of birdieing up just really tight ranges, the likeliness of that to come down here is not as probable. Why? Because their agenda is actually still coming up here. So that's just kind of how it rolls. And it's really, when we say not bullish, but like when they are locking price. See, this is a form of locking price. See how they have the imbalance and you don't get inside it. The same thing here. The 1 minute has already mitigated or balance the previous candle, I should say, balance. You see how it comes right away as an immediate rebalance. So we're not looking to come there right away. This is another sign. But you have also at the 9:30, before 9:30, well, right at 9:30, right? Look at this high right here. So we're looking at breakout levels. Take a look. Can't you see that this 937? You see how it dips in? That I know it's busy here, man. It's a 15-minute imbalance that I've got highlighted right here, right? It dips in, right? It dips in, and look at that high. So that's a breakout area. But on the 1 minute, you've already got balanced price ranges on there. So it's so bullish in this. When I mean very bullish, I don't mean like it's gonna just fly to the moon. What I'm saying is the structure is so bullish here that you're not expecting big retracement. You are getting a retracement. This is a retracement coming back, right? Sitting on the high. So, and it's so weak that it's not even hitting the first 25%, right? And then even the 50% of that gap of the imbalance, it's in the just real in the top 25%. Tagging that breakout level, right? So if you're looking for order flow, right? Like technically that's a higher low, that's a higher high. Yeah, it's got drives on it. Then it retraces for the higher low. Then this makes this new high. You got the first imbalance there, okay? You got the first imbalance there, pops up. difficult to use it at first, right? Underneath, above it, underneath it here, and then it finally really works right here. We'll use it later, but that makes a high there, and then that's another higher low. So you actually have order flow right here, right? So buying here is not easy. It's you think it's might rolling over, but it's a higher low from here, right? Because we broke that high. You get that very very basic. So today, if you have a shakeout, move one, it's fake. Move two, move three, move four, move five. All right, so that's a speaker in itself. So comes up, retraces back to the mean reversion, but gets deeper, and then shoots up for their agenda to, let me fix this 15-minute, to squeeze more out of this liquidity in that candle, right? It was really easy to catch that technically. I caught it. It was the drives that did it for me. If you watch yesterday's video. So, anyways, so here's where it gets tough. Here, okay, again, you only have to, if you are able to monitor the other assets, right? Let me just put this on a daily chart. So as you see here, S&P jumped in their little imbalance and took that high, right? And then Dow, same story. Look at Nas, bogus. So obviously they know more people are trading Nas, and that's probably why they pulled the rug, because it made it more difficult, right? All right, this is a daily chart. Whoa. Okay, so you get that, right? So that if you're able to see that, decision making here, gets a little easier, but this was still difficult for Nas traders. So what did they do? Well, you get in this structure here. It's not breaking yet, really, and then you get another high, and then you break that. So that's kind of like key one. It retraces back up and never gets back up any higher. But the real break is right after that break, right here. So we push down right here, and then we pop back up right into that imbalance right there of the 1043. So we pop right in there, and it touches that low. So it's kind of like any momentum traders here. All right, so there's you got order flow right here. But hey, that could be a speaker and it could easily pop up. We don't know that. But look where you get a real confirmation. Let me open this up. Is that low right here. See, we busted here with that low. Then here. Then it breaks down again. You get this next up candle. This is a control of price. This 1050. And you got time involved. So 1050. And then it starts to spool down. As you see this last up candle, if I was to draw it, you'll see it. Let me move this for a second here. Oh my God. Why you gotta be so difficult, bro? Oh my God. Here you go. Okay, Jesus. So you see, we pop up in there. And then we do the same thing kind of with this candle right here. But right now you got structure of because like for example, like this pullback right here. This pullback is a straight shot. It's not really structure. Then you're going to say, well, what about this? This is structure. Yeah, but two things. One, you just broke through there and they're locking price here with intention to come back. But and could it have bought from here? Not necessarily. It's pretty ugly. You'd have to see some really bullish. Sorry, let me open this up, man. It's so hard to do this. But then guess what? Now you get this break here, right? So you're popping underneath, and then this becomes the control of prices. 1, 2, 3, 4 candles. I'm gonna move this over, and you'll see it's and coincidence? No. You have the imbalance, the first imbalance right there, where if you drag it out, we push through it, we're above it. So algorithmically, this is a buying technique here, and then when it's selling, you can target the actual level, or you can see it and wait that it ends up turning as resistance. So the control 4 candles right there, very, very clear. Okay, and then it's in the background, and then now that locks price comes down, pushes back up. Look at the body sitting there Very, very algorithmic and clean. Um, what was I gonna say here? There's so much else I can say, but anyways, this was just dirty time distortion, but it's a reversal day. Look at the profile. Can't you see the way it looks like? See, it starts here. It's a sell model, so you got the consolidation here. You get accumulation 1 and 2, and then you get your finale. And then on this side here, now you're coming down, and you're using this area as mitigation. So notice that's why I said if this might have not been a true break in your eyes or in someone's eyes, but once you, like on the 15-minute, it's so hard to see all this shit, dude. This should not even be lit. Like that candle right there, you see how these two energetic candles right here, and then we break underneath it. That's your basic support resistance. But on the buy side, let me do it this way. Just like squinch it up real quick. Hopefully it's not too ugly. So it's a consolidation, accumulation, accumulation. This is the buy side of the curve, and then on the right side, you'll see as a sell model that they've created this liquidity here. And again, you're sitting here, you're hoping for it to go down there at 9:30, but it ain't gonna do that first. It wants to ascend above here. But as we know, we have all those equal lows plus the gap there. And it's Tuesday, as I was saying earlier. So as a reversal day, this is what it looks like, right? So as you see, pops up and then reverses. And what is the time here? Generally speaking, 10:15 to 10:30 can be a reversal, and you can see that we did it at 10:30 right here, right? So generally, we would like to see that at London or even lunch, but they had no intention. Again, S&P and Dow had already came up and took out and they're just bogus. This is just bogus. There's nothing else. There's nothing else I could tell you. But if you see this is not reaching up and it starts to break down, how are you involved? I just told you, right there, right there. This control of price coming back up, right there, right? See this low right here. See it to the right. It's kind of like coming right back to that. And then even when you break below you wait for it to break below the first imbalance, you can see that we tap underneath. And then we do these drives, we come back, stop right here because they're trying to get the people who are familiar with what I'm saying and pushing sell. On the sell side of the curve, they're coming down to mitigate underneath here because the market makers are accumulating here sells. People are buying here, so as soon as it comes down, they are offloading their sells, and people who are buying here are out, and also they're selling from up here and willing sellers down here who are breakout traders. So when the put price pushes down, breakout traders are getting triggered, and then they think they're winning, and then boom, pops back up, right? And now they're underwater, and really it's really doing both of those tasks. Plus, anyone who's buying here, they have a chance to get out. So simple mitigation. On the sell side of the curve, you can see this is your low risk here, trading selling it from here and here, right? And then this is your accumulation 1, this whole mess, and then coming down. Oh, there's just so much to say right here, man. I can't even fit all this in a screen, dude. Jesus. I know it's a 1 minute. I should go to a 5. A 5 is actually pretty clean. I will go to a 5. Let's do it like that, yeah. So you see here, and then so accumulation 1, accumulation 2 right here, and then we rush for the liquidity. Does get another extra pullback. You can see the imbalances are controlled on the 5 minute, very strong, very clean as well. And then they seal the rest of the opening range gap. So the algorithm is like, okay, we're going to create this liquidity. We're going to push up, right? We're going to squeeze them out, and then we're going to leave at 9:30. We have the opening range gap. We're going to leave that open wide with these imbalances here, plus that liquidity and the gap that's empty. And then we're going to, once we reach up here, we're going to then comes to the 25%. See it playing around. Then it hits the 50. See how it stops right there. Look at the bodies. Then it comes to seal it. Comes back to the 25 on the bottom plus the Yeah, the bottom 25% plus that midnight level. Look at the bodies respecting the midnight level as well. It's just beautiful, right? Coming down, right? And then what's the purpose of all this as well? Because when we have this gap right here, notice that yesterday, well, created the gap yesterday, but then we closed up here, so we had a bullish daily candle ceiling over it, but that's only one-sided. Where's the bearish candle? So right now we're creating that bearish candle to seal that gap. We also retraced back into what, that wick right here, and then the wick on the daily. You see how we hit that right there. I'm saying all this to say something else soon, but we did come right to the 2 to 2.5. So remember, I got this again. This is getting kind of difficult. I'm measuring the wick right here. See this wick on the 15-minute specifically, and then the 2 to 2.5. And if you remember me saying yesterday, this was really suspect. So they created this yesterday as liquidity induced to then push up, and then they were going to come and wipe all that out. That's exactly what they did today. So you got to watch yesterday's video. Very, very clear. And then we come into the 2 to 2.5. What's next after? If it's going to keep coming down, where's 3.5 to 4? Oh, happens to be right there. So are we going to, so, okay, all that makes sense, right? And then I'm going to get into the understanding here in a second, but very difficult with divergence. There's not really much up here. You did have one as this failed right here, but the 930 you had this lower lows with Dow, and then that pushed up the price. And then when we were up here, it wasn't really nothing really worth mentioning at all. But the real divergence was oh, I can't do a 4 hour. It's not gonna work. I mean, basically, you didn't see us make a higher high with NAS. That's your divergence on the higher time frame. So you have higher highs with S&P and Dow, and you have a lower high here. That's your divergence. So NAS happened to be the one with the divergence, right? So there was one. It just wasn't on not really important in the lower time frame, but that's what was important. So that is how you could have been a participant of selling down. Again, very difficult for NAS traders, man. Very, very difficult. But dollar just fucking sideways. I don't even care. And then, well, let's not say that. But they were coming up and rolling in. I feel like they're gonna keep coming up. That might push us down more. And if dollar wants to be the one that really comes down, then that could push us up. But that's just general speaking. I'm not like really relying on any of that. Let's take a look at this. This is very key. This will outline. So look at Dow real quick. Again, we tapped in, and they didn't seal that gap. So if you think, I don't think that they have spent all of 24 and 25 pushing up, and then coming all the way down here, and then not like sealing that. And then look at this liquidity right here. Actually, there's a gap right there too. See that gap right there? See how this candle closes right here, November 29th, and then it just opens right there? I'm going to highlight that. And these should be purple. I don't know why they're this color, but it's probably because I was talking about something. Oh my God, I want to be done. Come on. Oh my goodness. You should be this color anyway. Okay. Alright, so you see that, and then and this should be also the same. I don't know why. These are all gaps. This is, so as you see, not filled. So wouldn't it make sense? Wouldn't it make sense for them to rush and come in to at least do this? If they didn't do this, that's fine. But what is this? This is a breakout candle. Look at no candles. Look at breakout right through. Liquidity right there. Like pretend this is a 1 minute chart, and we coming down to get in there. I don't know if they're gonna come this deep, but that's where we're at, right? So that being said, look how they did this lower low to lower high. And then are we making a new lower low quickly? But here's the thing: this can get really ugly right now because this could stop right here because it got into the wick. It could buy back up one more time for like another uh, speakering level, which would be another lower high, and then roll over possibly, right? And it could take its time doing that. They've already done a lot quickly, so now they can slow it down. It can get really choppy. So no expectations there, and that's Dow. And yeah, came 50% of that wick right there. A lot can happen here. Again, it could push back up just to get right back into here and then roll over. So I mean, anyone long term bullish or bearish here, I'm not. It's neither. I can't call that. You can't. I don't recommend it. But that gap is nasty though. But now they have a closed daily candle now very soon, right? So they've accomplished that. We have CPI also. Is that tomorrow? I think that's tomorrow, and that should really push it in a direction. I wouldn't be in the market at all anyway, but um, that's Dow. I need to move forward. How long is this now? I got to do something better about. Okay, so again, this Dow again. All right. What is this? Yes. Okay. So, why is this so crazy looking? There's so much information on here. That's why. Um, Crazy, right? That's a speaker right there. High, low, high, low. Coming back. Where's the 50% right here? Right? So are we going to push down again? Look at, they sealed their gap. That gap. Or this wasn't even a gap. This was just a breakout level, I guess, right? Maybe, I don't know. Well, there's a gap. Fuck, look at that. Look at that motherfucker. So when they created this, and I remember this shit, and I was like, that's bogus. But we didn't let it affect us buying at all. We were just in a bull run, right? But I'm gonna mark this because this is like a real gap. But see how and see how they gap up to this level, but it's still higher. So anything from there to there is like suspect. All right, I gotta move forward. Come on, 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 come on. Right there. It's not gonna be perfect. So right there. All right, that's a real gap, buddy. I mean, I don't see any gaps anywhere else down here like that, and I don't expect the market to come down this far either. I'm just talking. I said this is an easy breakout level. Um, I mean, and they fucking already came right here. But again, structure. I'm sorry, I can't fit this anymore. I'm just gonna move this over. Uh, this is a daily, right? No, it's a 4 hour. I'm trying to see why yeah, you look on the daily, can't miss that. I was on a 4 hour, yeah. So breakout level, pretty much. I mean, let's just. I could do it. I could do that, but I like include the reason. Okay, now I know the reason why I did that. It was so long ago. The reason why I did that was because I want to include that. I want to make it very clear what that level is, the breakout level of what that high. And guess what? You don't say that it taps that level only, right? But it's really here. So if I did that, then you'd see it's like 50. It's below 50%, but it's a little bit floating, right? But that's why I did what I did. Just sick. All right, so we did that. This just looks crazy. I ain't gonna lie. But just like any drop, again, I'm gonna use this example. When we dropped, then we pushed up, and we got back into their gap, and we pushed down. We're right here. Does it keep going, or does it stop, and then we get a CPI push? I think that might happen. I'll be honest with you. I think that might happen to then push up to get back up here. Why? Because not only do they got sellers, they're incognito to come back up and get the easy sellers here. They've already squeezed out buyers. They've already did their agenda here. And remember, we have a long year, so we have bearish flow for at least this quarter. So again, though, so for example, let's just say we did these lower highs. They did it in like days. This took fucking forever, right? But let's just say we're kind of like this. and then CPI kind of like brings it back up. What are they doing when they bring it back up? Any lower highs in here, and this fucking completely empty price, and there's a gap there too. There's a gap right there. Damn, that bitch open from here to here. There's a man. So I don't expect us to come this high right now at all or anything, but I'm just talking. So from there to there, there's a gap. All right. So that's what I'm saying. Are they going to use? I mean, because it would make sense for them to use a news catalyst like CPI to, again, can CPI push it down one more time and then roll up? Okay, let me just draw it because there's this. I've got my ideas out. There's only two options here. So we've already done this. Look, so we've came up, we didn't get above, and then we came back down in here. We've accomplished all that. So I'm gonna just for simple purposes here, I drew, and we've done all this. All right. So do we come down for this? I'm gonna leave this the way this is. All right. Is that gonna be the case? Wait, was there a? Oh, I need to do that. Hold on. Nas. And I know I'm using the wrong chart. Ooh. Oh, so did I show that yesterday? Maybe I did. Didn't I? Oh, very close, buddy. So yeah, so is this the case where we're gonna roll through, get into here? Maybe if they really flash flood it, like hit that level right there, right? See that high? And clean up that up. Do they get into here? Maybe not. But that would be bogus if they did. So, or are we doing this? I'm just gonna change this up. We're already down here. And let's just say they either they and then I'm gonna do this here. See that? So either we're gonna come down from here, take that out, and then pop up. This is this variation, or it doesn't. Okay, it does not like go any lower. It doesn't take this low out. So it dangles that carrot. It makes sense. Dangles that carrot. People are expecting to come in here, and then they rip up, with CPI, and then it moves up back up here. Maybe not this high. I'm just kind of talking. And then maybe it rolls over from there, right? So now I feel like I am doing way too much talking. As you can see here, very similar. We pushed up here, and then we squeezed everybody selling from here. See that? See this area here? Last minute motherfucker selling it. And then immediately come right back. Where? So we had this gap here. We gapped up already and we pushed forward. And then that gap was still there. So then I expected for it to reverse because I can see that their price would come back. Not only wipe out these easy buyers, but get it to the gap. But then they have this right here and they just tapped in. So if you take a look, let me just crunch this out real quick. So here's an example. This area, is it looking like this? So here's a prime example for what I was kind of mentioning. So look at this. This is a very big drop. We pushed up to squeeze sellers. We came back down to wipe out buyers. Watch this. Now we're here. Do we end up pushing back up to get into what? More of the sellers and lower highs? And I'm looking at a video, but I'm giving you the same example. So we came back down to wipe out buyers. So do we come down a little bit, or do we stay here and then pop back up to then get these guys? Right? And then we pop up, and then right here we stop, and then we roll over. Because here you can see that we came down, and then we popped up, got into these lower highs, stopped here, all right, squeeze as much as we can, and then we come back down again deep to wipe out all that shit we're buying. So just giving you basic flow here, and definitely made this too long. Okay, so am I missing something? I talked about all the assets, right? What would I like to see? To be honest with you, I would like to see this. All right, I would like to see this. Just get it over with, and then pop back up slowly, get into here, and then roll over again. I would like to see this. Let me take a look at the Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't see. Again, CPI could do anything. It could, and just so you know, we have. Yeah, let me make sure I don't forget to say this. Well, where's the 4 hour? See the 4 hour here? Well, you can even look at the 1 hour. You see these equal lows here? See these equal lows, and now we have equal highs. Dude, CPI can ram both. I would like to say they come down first, then pop up, right? Because this is you're already kind of too down here to come back up. But hey, this is what they always do. They create liquidity on the top, on the bottom. What are we though? We're bearish. So let's not forget that. I want to make sure I don't forget to say that. We are bearish. We are not bullish. So if we're bearish, we're looking for lower highs and sells, right? Lower high sell, sold off, came back up, lower high. It didn't take out that high, but even if it did, I still would have sold it, um, and then sold, right? So what's next in the agenda? A lower low on the higher time frame, right? Even if it jams down like this and then is a shallow lower high, slithers down like that, that would kind of be happening here. Whatever the case is, I think everybody and their mother tried to buy here as well. So you don't need to be right, but we know the options now. You let CPI play out, and as day traders, it's no big deal. I mean, if you're swinging, it's a little bit difficult, but right now we're just flowing with the flow. I mean, we popped up to the 2 to 2.5. Remember, it's also still in the 2 to 2.5 from this projection that I did from here to here. These can't from here to here. You can see it 2 to 2.5, and we stayed there. So we came back to it, and then there's a projection here that I did. Remember, I already showed you that, right, from here, and then the 2 to 2.5 is where we're in now, and then 3.5 to 4. Let me see if I can maybe update this over here, even because this is in control. Why? Because this is high. This high is higher than there, so I'm using this. I'm really gauging it with that, but it was also very difficult to kind of pinpoint. Let me see here. How can I? I think it would be okay either one. So let me see what it would look like over here, real quick. So I kind of like. I kind of like that. Get to 101.5. Maybe we pop up here real quick. Knock out sellers from today. Look at the support resistance from that sell model. And then this is I didn't continue, did I? So here, obviously, when we get underneath all this, look how we get some drives, and then we get this solid 2 candles. Boom. Controller price again right here. You could draw a line right there. Similar idea. And this is locked. This is locked, right? So this area is locked. So this is like, look on the 15 minute, pretty clean. You can see it's like pretty much a basic support resistance. That was support, and then now it's resistance. We're using the bottom of the opening range gap. We also have the present day gap, and it's also sitting there. Not pretty, but it ends up working out. You could see it. You can see it on a smaller time frame, as you see. You see how it comes above, stops right there, stops right there, pushes up, but then the body, look at the body closing, and it's like, there's your last signal of, okay, we're coming down. I know I've said a lot, and I've went over everything, right? So yeah, go back test 2022 and 23. You need to. This is going to be very insightful for. That's how I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm back testing all of 22 again. And yeah, so it's gonna be really interesting what they do tomorrow. Again, this again, we're not bullish, but this could be a higher low right here. Yeah, we did all this funky shit and then pulled back, wiped out the easy buyers. Look at that, and then it could easily push up. All right, and it can easily keep coming down. So I'm not. Pretty neutral there, but the logic is what's key, and then you'll know what's happening in the Asian daytime as far as New York goes, and then just look at the algorithmic delivery, and obviously you see why I got these highlighted is because each one of those is a breakout bounce level, right? So breakout bounce level. Obviously, break. Obviously, you know, liquidity with the gap right there, sealing that. All very logical shit. Now we're we came to have a body closure, come underneath the present week gap. Stop talking. I gotta go. Okay, take care. God bless.